Okay, we're here today with Troy Rosengarten, a 2013 graduate of Sydney High School. Troy was a three-time letter winner for us for football. In his senior year, he was actually was named second team G-Walk North. Played mainly wide receiver. I think you might have been a quarterback too, a little bit, right?
That sophomore year.
I think sophomore year you might have thrown a couple passes in there too. But
Yeah.
yeah, Troy was a three-time letter winner for us. Got on special teams a lot when he was younger to get those letters, and then mainly caught quite a few balls for us as junior and senior year. Troy, just kind of fill us in. What branch of the military? Where are you currently located? What are some of your duties and that kind of stuff?
So I joined the Marine Corps, and now I got stationed at Camp Pendleton over in California. It's near San Diego. And my job is actually a 0671, which is a data system administrator. So I get to work on computers and servers all day.
Okay. Smart guy.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but it's good. It's good learning. Good training.
Good training and just constantly just keep learning and stuff, right?
All the time.
Now, have you always, or I know you're in California right now, where did you do your training at? And have you had any duties that you've had to do overseas yet?
So like most East Coast Marines, we go to Parris Island first over in South Carolina.
Okay.
And then from there, we went to North Carolina for MCT, which mine got shortened, which was kind of nice for me because it was cold, snowed the whole time.
Okay.
And then from there, we went to 29 Palms, California for my schoolhouse. And I was there for roughly 6 months. And that probably the worst place I've been so far.
Yeah.
It's not a place to go. Yeah, it's just desert everywhere. And then I got stationed at Camp Pendleton Memorial Day weekend of last year, actually.
Okay. And how long have you been in the Marines then?
So just under 2 years. So
Okay,
2 years
so
will be August. Yeah.
doing some quick math here, that means your first 4 or 5 years out of high school, you were in the military, correct?
No, I was not.
So what's inspired you, or what got into you to 4 or 5 years after high school? It's not a normal thing, but it's not completely uncommon for people to do this. But what inspired you to go into the military 4 or 5 years after high school graduation?
So I wanted to go to college. It's something I wanted to do because no one in my family has really ever graduated college. And so I tried that, and it just wasn't my thing. College wasn't. And I was always in contact with Zane Lewis still all the time, who's also a Marine. And so like talking to him all the time, and my uncle being a Marine back in the late 80s, early 90s, and then doing all the Spartaners I did kind of motivated me because my life wasn't going where I thought it would 4 or 5 years after. So I just kind of hit the button, walked in the recruiter's office, and signed the papers the same day, actually.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
That's awesome because there's no, normal perfect plan in life. And you were a guy that just kind of kept figuring some things out. And, I appreciate what you did because you didn't have to – you tried the college route, but you knew it wasn't you. And then you just had to find your passion and find what works for you. And it just judging by the time we've been talking right here and some small conversations we've had in the past, this seems like something that is your passion and something that you do enjoy.
Oh, yeah, I love it. I love every minute of it since I joined. I do wish I would have joined right out of high school.
Yeah. And that's, one of these main reasons why I like these talks, not only just to get you guys out there and I always felt like you guys should get a little bit more credit than what you deserve, but I also want some of our current players and younger players to hear the path that you did. It wasn't what you thought it was going to be, and you were still able to find your passion. It just took a while for you to get to that point.
Oh, yeah. Definitely it was a learning experience being after high school. I worked probably 4 or 5 jobs within that time span, and got really high at some jobs, left jobs really early, months in, found I thought was my dream job, being a personal trainer. This wasn't the right time.
Yeah. Well, good for you. What does football mean to you, or what did football mean to you?
Football was my life growing up for 12 years, all the way to my senior in high school. It was everything. I can remember when my mom, she would tell me when I was a kid, I always wanted to play football ever since I was little. I wanted to play for the Ohio State University. which that obviously didn't happen. But it taught me a lot. It taught me how to be a man at a younger age before most kids don't think about stuff like that. Well, my 3 years of playing high school ball really taught me like how adversity was, like going through it. Because first 2 years I played, we were 0-20, and then sticking around. I think it was like 13 of us my senior year that were all in senior class, and we pushed through it from all of our rough years.
Yeah.
And we just worked hard. That's all it was.
Yeah. And then have you been able to take some of those lessons and those things that you've learned playing high school football and put them to work here these last couple of years in the Marine Corps?
Oh, definitely. Taught me like how to be a leader. Even though I wasn't a captain, which I didn't really mind. 'Cause I didn't think I was a leader at that point. But then, like growing like the next like 10 games my senior year, like I had people like looking up to me, like the younger kids, being a mentor for them. And so that really helps. Being older now in the military, it helps with a lot of the kids just out of high school.
Right.
A good example was I just got back from a deployment, and some of them younger kids who had never been out, like barely out of the state, and now they're across the world, and they were just freaking out, and just had to be there for them, comfort them, give them a little bit of motivational speech.
So now you being a little bit older and more mature and being through some of that stuff, you've been able to help those younger guys out. That's awesome, because you're definitely right. I mean, you weren't a captain your senior year, but as the season progressed, I think we voted on the captains before the season started or something like that. And as the season progressed, you just naturally started becoming more mature, started being more vocal, and you started making more plays and that kind of stuff, and that definitely grew. Um, uh, what's the military future look like for you? Is this something that potentially a career, more years and you're out type thing, or what's kind of long-term goal for Rosengarten?
So originally going into it, I wasn't sure because it was something new for me. And now after coming back from that deployment, it's really wanted me to re-enlist and just like kind of just keep on going, making a life out of it. Me and my wife have sat down and talked about it before, and she's really supportive about it. So I think that's the way we're looking right now.
Okay. Well, good. Well, you definitely know things change, life changes, and you've been able to adapt and figure out what works best for you. And I'm really, really proud of you. I'm glad you took the opportunity here for us to be able to do this. And you had a really good message for a lot of our younger players. Just your past not always going to be what everyone wants it to be, and you've been able to just keep figuring that way out. And I'm really proud of you, man. And thank you for taking the time to doing this with us.
You're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, no problem.